The Big Red Kitchen Show is brought to you by Markle Auto Group, Salt Restaurant, Wren's Display, The Pampered Chef products provided by consultant Heidi Leopold, Sea of Red Wine, D. Ford Family Dental, Corporate Creations, D. Tendenza, Food Styling, and Photography.
Hello and welcome to the Big Red Kitchen Show, the show about former Nebraska football players who love to cook, big guys who are comfortable in the kitchen. On today's show, you'll hear an interview with a former Nebraska football player. We'll hear about what he's been doing since he left the University of Nebraska. He's going to share with us one of his favorite recipes that he makes for his family and friends. We'll also be doing a time-saving kitchen gadget, a demonstration on how to use that in your kitchen. Plus, we'll be doing an interesting beverage pairing that'll really enhance today's featured dish. I'm Sherry Potter, and I'm a professional photographer, food stylist, and I love to try out new recipes in my studio kitchen. And today's recipe by Michael Green is an amazing fall recipe that you can cook up in your crock pot. It's a smoked turkey chili. I'm so excited to have you see it and hear all about it. Before we get into our show, I would like to introduce you to my co-host, my kitchen diva friend, Angela.
Nice. Hello everyone, I'm Angela Waltman. I am an avid cook. I love sports and I've made my career in marketing. So I was so happy when all of these were able to come together and I created Big Red Recipes. Big Red Recipes is a cookbook featuring all former Husker football players. We have 45 different football players that agreed to be in this book, and they contributed some wonderful recipes to us. We were so excited with what we got. Everything from elegant elk birds to smoked turkey chili to a great lemon pie that I know you were able to cook up, which was delicious. The book also features nonprofits from each of the guys that they support, so the book is a fundraiser as well, which we are very proud of. For more information on the book, please visit bigredrecipes.com. You can learn a lot more about the guys, some more about their families, what they've been doing since they left the university, as well as finding out all about their recipes. But today we are focused on Michael Green. Michael Green played for us from 65 to 69, so he was from the Devaney era. So we're happy to welcome him. He was a running back. And he is an amazing cook. Smoked turkey chili.
I know.
I'm very excited for him to tell us all about it. So why don't we go ahead and bring him on? Perfect. Michael Green, come on. Come on down. I sound like a game show host.
Come on down.
Welcome to our show, Michael. So good to see you and to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So you played from 65 to 69 in the Devaney era. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like? You're our first guest that played for Devaney, so give us some inside scoop.
Well, Devaney was a great coach, great man, great coach. I mean, he was fun to play for. I mean, he wasn't the kind of individual that was a taskmaster and such. Very well organized, but a lot of fun to be around, you know. And I mean, we knew when we screwed up, but you know, he was a very good, one of the biggest influences outside of my mother in my life. And so. Wow. But he's a great coach, great mind, great football mind, great people person too. And so all of his players had a great affinity for him. So he's the kind of person that once he came into your life, probably he never left.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Neat to hear.
So 65 to 69, you've been out of college for a couple years.
Just a few.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing since then?
Well, I was drafted by the San Diego Chargers and stayed out there for a minute, but then came back to Nebraska, and it was just by happenstance that I came back to Nebraska because I loved San Diego. But at the time, when I decided to leave the Chargers, there were no jobs out there. And so I came back here and went to work and started out in a banking career for about 7 or 8 years. Then went to work for Northern Natural Gas and went with them for another 7 or 8 years. And then the Enron gangsters took over.
Oh,
So at that point in time,
times.
at that point in time, I decided to start my own business. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but decided to start my own business and went to work for a small investment banking firm and came up with the idea for my company, Evergreen Capital Management. And so we started that in 1989.
Oh, wow.
And we manage retirement funds and IRA and retirement assets for individuals and institutions and small companies. So been doing that since 1989.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you have basically a family of athletes.
Yeah.
Got to mention your daughter Angela first.
That's right.
Tell us a
That's
little
right.
bit about
That's
Angela.
my project. Angela was a great track star.
Great name, by the way.
Great track star in high school. She ran on the championship track teams at Central High. That's a story in itself because when I was in school, Central High and Tech High were rivals, fierce rivals. So they closed down my school so that Central could survive.
Oh, wow.
You see, but we are the Trojans. We live on. But she went to Central and ran with another very fabulous athlete, Martise Ivy, and they headed up a championship track team, state championship track team, one of the best group of young women that probably ever come out of Central. So, in my opinion.
Congratulations.
No bias.
Yes, yes. But yeah, she was a great track star, very good athlete throughout her career. She ran the youth track, and so yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then nephew, Amon Green.
Right,
All you
right.
Husker
Oh,
fans
wow.
know his name.
Yeah.
So I'm
Again,
sure
had to send him to Central. So. But
So probably have lots of stories about Amon is under Osborne.
yeah.
You're under
Yeah.
Devaney.
Right.
What do you think the differences there were in the program, and then of course what we're interested in, the food, the training table? How is that different?
Well, the training table, there was nothing but advancements from the time I was. The training table was basically, we got like steaks on Monday night, and people thought that was great. But when you have a griddle about this, twice as big as this, and you cook up about 70 steaks, you literally fry 70 steaks.
Yes.
But you know, for a kid coming out of high school, I thought that was great eating. You know what I mean? So, but then after school, so after my playing days at school, I went out to a real restaurant. And I said, "What the heck have I been eating? Man, this is not a steak, you know." But yeah, then they really got into nutrition and what it meant to keep a proper diet for athletes, and that was, they realized and they learned that was an integral part of training and conditioning. Nutrition was an integral part of training and conditioning for athletes. So the training table really advanced in terms of nutritional theory and practice, and they really, you know, were able to develop recipes and what have you that were healthy as well as filling for the athletes, and to give them a lot of energy for the game day and all this kind of thing. So it's a real science. Training table now is a real nutritional science in college and pro football. So it's not just eating the meat and the potatoes anymore.
Yep, absolutely.
So.
So we have to make a note here because we think it's very interesting that Michael would not let us put his apron around his neck. Michael, can you tell us why?
Well, because the end must remain exposed. It must remain exposed at all times.
Apparently it's sacrilegious to cover up the
correct.
end.
That's right.
So we couldn't do
Well,
that.
hey,
So
we would
Michael's
never
going
do that.
strapless
Never.
today.
It's like,
Yes,
it's
yes.
like letting the flag fall on the ground. The end must remain exposed.
All right.
Sure, there are
So
lots of people cheering you on for that statement.
Children's Hospital, they are your charity that you are supporting, or nonprofit that you are supporting in the book. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose them?
Well, I sat on the Children's Hospital Foundation for 6 years, and they do tremendous work with children and all kinds of illnesses over there. And I got to see some very fabulous doctors and hear about some things that they were doing over there during the time that I sat on their foundation board. And they're just doing tremendous work at Children's Hospital. And a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise be able to get the kind and the quality of care for children in this area are very fortunate to have an institution like that in our city.
In our state.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're very, very happy to support them. And now, of course, we've got to move back to the food. You said that you
Yes,
have an
the
interesting
food.
theory about how you came about to cook this dish and others.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
the story.
Well, when I came when I was young. I had 3 siblings in the house, and a single mom, and so she cooked, a lot of food because she worked, and she cooked for 4 kids. So one of my favorite dishes that she used to cook was mac and cheese. And so one day after coming home from track practice, we had, of course, we had mac and cheese the day before, and so it was leftovers. And so I came in and heated up a bowl of mac and cheese, and I said, "This tastes better than it did the first time."
Oh.
And so what I learned from that, and it was years later, I was talking to a nutritionist down at the U, and I told him about that experience, and he said, "Well, that's because when something sits like that, the ingredients and the spices and the seasonings get really marinated into the food." And so, after that, I started when I started cooking, after I got out of school, I started experimenting with stuff, and I came up with my own theory about preparing things like smoked chili and mac and cheese and lasagna. Mm-hmm. I cook it the day before and purposely let it sit for at least 24 hours before I eat it.
That's a great way to do it. And I would agree, things always taste better that next day.
They do. So I mean, my leftovers are actually the first time around.
Well, Michael, we're going to talk a little bit about your recipe.
Okay.
It's really an interesting recipe. It has some interesting things in it that a lot of times you don't think about as being in chili.
Right.
One of them are the peppers.
Yeah.
And I love it that you're using both red and yellow peppers. Do you have a reason for using those?
Well, again, in letting the chili sit, that flavor gets exaggerated as it sits. The other thing is that red and yellow peppers add color.
Correct.
To the food, and so when you're serving it up, it just in the fall or whatever time of year, but especially in the fall, those are fall colors, and so it looks good too.
It does look good. It does look good, and they're extremely nutritious, and they're packed
Absolutely.
with cancer-fighting.
Exactly.
I can't say the word, but anyway, that word.
Antioxidants?
Anti-carcinogens.
Anti-carcinogens.
Thank you very
correct.
much. Thank you very much. I learned that from Children's Hospital.
Yes, anti-carcinogens. So they're actually really good for you. And with this particular recipe, one of the best ways to prepare peppers is to slow cook them so the nutrients aren't all cooked away.
Right.
So that was a great advantage to your recipe in using a crock pot, because all of those great nutrients are kept right there within the chili. Another little fact, when you're picking out chilies at the store, always look for ones with bright green stems, because that indicates their freshness. Now, I have a method for cutting up peppers that I invented. I'm not sure.
Cool.
Maybe I didn't invent it. I just think I invented it.
Like to
I want to show you how to do it and see.
I'm the greatest thief in the world. So
Okay, all right. Well, I have a knife here, and I'm going to show you how I do it, because it is just a really interesting method. So I like to cut the top off and the bottom off.
Okay.
And I set that aside for salads.
Okay.
And then I make a little slice here, and I pull out the little inside piece.
Right.
So then you have this nice little long straight piece, so it's really easy to cut up.
Right.
And then you just take it and you cut it into little strips. Easy, like so. You get a few done, and then you can stack them together really nicely.
Dice them.
And dice them very quickly. So, is that how you do yours?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Very good. Then I'm going to have you demonstrate, because I hear you really like to work with a knife. So we're going to have you demo. I know it's not the knife.
It's not the knife I like, but
but. And you do it with the right hand. I do it with the left hand.
I'm ambidextrous.
I always like to make sure people know how to do it both ways.
I'm ambidextrous.
And just stack those babies together. Look at that.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, man.
This also exposes the ring.
Yes,
another
close
nice
up on the
chopping
ring.
So yeah.
Very good.
So you chop, like I say, I came up with the crock pot idea because, like you say, the slow cooking, it's the mild heat, and lets the flavors just really
Kind of
infuse
right.
with the food.
It just stays right in there.
Yeah,
Right on
yeah.
there. Now the other ingredient that we need to talk about that we have in this recipe is the onion. Now I know from my conversation with you, you like to chop onions. I don't like to chop onions. Actually, it makes me crazy.
I actually use red onions.
Do you use red onions?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, I brought a white one for us today. So we're just going to cut it in half and kind of have you show us how you chop up your onions.
Well, the same ways, almost the same ways you do the peppers. You just. And then you can stack them.
And you stack them up?
Yeah.
And then chop them down. You do have great knife skills.
Well, you know, I try hard.
You do. Look at those beautiful squares. Now you just chop over them a couple times.
Nice.
They're nice and close together.
That's right.
Now, one of the things that I have here is this little time-saving gadget, which the reason why I use it is, you know,
The reason I laugh, I don't mean to interrupt, but the reason I laugh is that on Saturdays after football season, I'm completely dangerous because I wander through stores and pick up gadgets like this.
Oh, no.
So I've got a garage that's, you know.
Full of these types of gadgets.
Yeah.
Good. I'll have you bring some more in for us. Well, the reason why I like to use this handy chopper, this is from our Pampered Chef consultant has recommended this to us because little kids do not like finding onions in things. And you know, that's a turnoff for a lot of little kids. So a nice chopper like this enables us to not have those big, thick slices of onions.
Very true.
So,
Very true.
Michael, I'm going to have you demonstrate because I know that you know how to use this because you are a gadget man.
You're having too much fun.
That's right. It's called abuse.
And you can do a little more. Keep that going just a little bit longer. So look how nice and fine that is.
That's mush.
It is. It's mush. But the nice thing about onions is that, you know, the longer you cook them, they become translucent.
That's right.
And a little kid cannot see.
them.
They cannot see them. So
Sneaky cooking.
it's sneaky cooking, but I think it's important if you're wanting to try and get the whole entire family. Plus, I have some adult friends. They hate onions.
Yeah,
and so if they even if they find one in a dish, they are all kinds of freaked out. So I use the chopper all the time for that fact alone. So we are going to kind of clean this little mess off. I do have another quick little gadget. It's not really a gadget, it's a method of doing some smoking. Because you recommended a smoked turkey wing. Well, I go to the store, I can't find smoked turkey wings. So I was like, what am I going to do if I have to do that?
I have to reveal some of my sources to you.
Yes, yes. So I found out that you can make your own little smoker at home. So if you don't have a smoked turkey, you can buy raw turkey at the store, or chicken, or
May I interrupt here and say this is ingenious? Because they're so hot.
I know, they're so hot, you can't pick them up.
Wine cork, you always wonder what to do with them? Love it.
This is a quick little way to do some smoking. So all you need is a tin foil. Well, we have some tin foil here. And one of these little steamer baskets. So what we're going to do with all these little things is we're going to take and put a little tin foil on the bottom of our pan.
Let's get the margin.
Kind of folded in the bottom of our pan like so. See,
we were going to put it on our head.
No, no, it's not a hat. It's not a hat.
I'm going to let Michael do it.
Okay, so then after we have our foil in the pan, we're going to use some smoking chips that you find at the store.
All right.
We are going to soak them for 30 minutes.
All right.
We're going to just pile a few of them in here. We're going to make a little package for them. Just fold it like this, like that, and leave those ends open so the steam can escape from both sides, get them kind of flat. And now we're going to place that into our little pot here.
Okay.
Pretty hard on that. No. Yeah. Show the camera.
She's teasing you.
I am. Okay, then we take our steamer basket and pop it in there in the bottom, and we add our meat. Now just pretend that this is raw. You pop it in the middle of your pan.
All right.
Put the lid on it, and now you wrap that around the outside edge. Seal it up nice.
Really?
Yes. We're going to seal this up really nice and tight. We'll let it on the stove on high for 5 minutes so we get a little smoke going inside it. And let it cook on low for 10 to 12 minutes. Let it turn off the heat, another 10 to 12 minutes, and voila, we have smoked meat on the inside of our little pan here.
Really?
So easy. I know. Who knew you could do that? Who knew? Who knew? So there you go.
Okay, you got me convinced.
All right. Well, Angela, I think we have a beverage pairing that we'd like to talk about today, too.
Yes, we do. Michael, what do you usually drink when you make your smoked turkey chili?
Vodka? No.
Well, good, 'cause that's what we're doing.
No, I mean, with chili, it's anything from beer to rum to bourbon. I mean, it's whatever the guests want.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got something a little bit new and interesting for you today.
All right.
Our friend John over at Salt Restaurant has suggested what he calls the 9. And this is really kind of an alcoholic take on a golf drink. So I think this pairs well with chili because we're kind of on the brink there.
Okay.
We're getting into fall, but we still kind of want to feel like summer's here.
Yep.
So we've got a nice summery drink that pairs with our fall dish. Best of both worlds, right?
Got it.
All right, so what the 9 is fresh brewed iced tea, fresh lemon juice, lemon vodka.
Just Arnold Palmer so far.
Yeah, that's what it is, and limoncello liqueur. He always throws this one in there. Now I know how to pronounce it, so I feel good about that. So what we're going to do, I already have those ingredients mixed up in there. I'm going to throw some ice in. And then I'm going to have Michael give it a good shake.
I'm going to move out of the way.
That's right. You never know what's going to happen here.
We're a football player. Who knows?
Perfect. Get that all nice and mixed up. Shakers are great because they get stuck. Because they chill the drink without watering it down too much. And actually, we didn't even need that to happen. I just wanted to see if you could do it. Good job.
I do.
And then we just pour it in. So you don't have the ice in your drink, but it's very cold. So that's why John always gives us a shaker drink. And I get to spill it all over the place. There we go. And then you can put a nice couple pretty lemon peels if you want to garnish.
The garnish.
I only have 2, so I'm going to go without the one because I'll probably make a mess. But I'm going to go ahead and hand these out. Sherry.
Thank you, Angela.
Michael, our very dainty drinks that goes with our manly chili.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of
Like I say, you'd
lot
have
of
to,
different things
you'd
going
have to
on
have
here.
a lot of these.
Yeah. Why don't we cheers?
Cheers.
Ha! I gotcha. Give us a taste.
Wow. Compliments to John.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. You have to make these by the jug.
I can pour more in for you. So just so you know, that's yummy.
They are delicious.
And here's our chili.
Yeah, with my guys, you have to make this by the jug.
How about a keg?
Yeah,
Keg of it.
close.
So we have our chili that we've already cooked up for us. I'm going to have you take a small taste. Now I didn't read the instructions really well, so I didn't let this set overnight.
Yeah, that's key. That's key.
Well, thank you.
But I know now what we're having for dinner tomorrow night.
That's right. That's
It'll be better tomorrow, right?
Yes. And we have some spoons for tasting.
Why, thank you.
And I will grab mine as soon as we finish tasting. See what you think. I love the cinnamon in this dish. That was
really comes out.
really good.
Yep.
It gives it just a nice little sweet to go with the smokiness of the wing that's on there.
All those flavors come together.
All those flavors do come together. Something else that I have a question on when I was making it. Now, when you put the wing in there, the chicken wing or the turkey wing in there, do you take the skin off of it? You don't. And do you put it in whole and let it?
No,
simmer?
I cut it up.
You cut it all up.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And you do okay.
Yeah, so
And
it fits nice in the pot. Yeah.
So then that skin that comes in
Right.
there. It didn't say in the recipe, so
Yeah.
I thought I'd ask the pro, the
Thank you
guy
very much.
who
Thank you very
actually
much.
invented the recipe.
And you
Let's see how
know,
it
with
was
our
done.
show, if you have any questions when you are watching this, like the turkey skin question,
Right.
you can always email into the show at bigredrecipes.com. We'd love to get back to you and answer any of those questions. So always know that option is available.
It's true. That's true. Yeah.
What'd you think of the drink with the chili?
Like I say, it's a good pairing. You know, you just need mass quantities here. You know?
He doesn't approve of our little girly.
No, this is
Our little girly glasses. We're gonna have to,
You know.
we'll have to invest in some.
I serve
big
just in my
giant-
crowd and I get run out of the house. No.
All the girls will really like it, though. The ladies will like it.
The ladies that I know, I'd get run out of the house.
Oh my! Hey, so tell me a little bit more about how you developed the spices for this recipe.
Well,
I know that everyone has their own methods, so tell me about that.
With me, anything goes. I mean, I I like cinnamon, and so the cinnamon I just threw it in there just to see what would happen. Actually, I mean, I just tested it out, and it turned out pretty good. Even the smoked turkey part of it, I first started making it with just ground turkey, just be kind of healthy, and so. But then one Thanksgiving we had smoked turkey, and it just occurred to me. I said, if I took smoked turkey and let that marinate in there for overnight, that might give it a little flavor. So I got the smoked turkey wing, cut it up, put it in there, and just did that, and that's how it came about. Cool. But I like to experiment. I mean, I'll take the stuff and throw it together, and sometimes it turns out like crap. But hey,
Now, the other thing I noticed about this recipe is it didn't have a lot of salt in it.
No,
actually, it has no salt in it.
No,
and I think it was actually very, very good without the salt. So it's really a recipe that's healthy. It's the turkey, the wing, the smoked wing, and low in salt. So it's something that somebody who's on
one of the things that I add to some of my dishes is garlic, and that actually has the same kind of flavor enhancing as salt. So it's a good substitute. Like Mrs. Dash's garlic with no salt. So.
Absolutely. Well, we love this recipe. We love this drink pairing. If you do want to see the entire recipe, please go to www.bigredrecipes.com. To learn more, you will have to buy the book to get the entire recipe.
Yes, I need royalties.
But it is in there, so you will be able to get that along with 43 other wonderful recipes and be able to support a lot of great charities. So thank you, Michael, very much for participating in the book.
I had a good time.
And for coming on the show.
Great, great. Well, that about wraps up our show for today. I'm so glad that you viewers joined us today. And if you have a former Nebraska football player that you've found spied in the kitchen and you'd like to see him on the show, or you'd have a gadget you'd like to see demonstrated, we'd love to hear from you. Email to the show at bigredrecipes.com and we'll get right back to you and see if we can honor your request. Michael, I just want to thank you so much. You've been a wonderful guest and a lot of fun today. I really enjoyed, hearing about your past, and you were with the Devani.
And I would like to say that Michael was instrumental in getting Amon into the book as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you for that. I love
welcome.
having
You're
those
welcome.
families in the book. We have a lot of family connections in there, which was really fun to see. So you guys were one of those, and I really appreciate that.
Good.
So, well, until next time, we'll see you again on the Big Red Kitchen Show.
Go
and we
Big
thank you.
Red!
The Big Red Kitchen Show was brought to you by Markle Auto Group, Salt Restaurant, Wren's Display, The Pampered Chef products provided by consultant Heidi Leopold, Sea of Red Wine, D. Ford Family Dental, Corporate Creations, D. Tendenza Food Styling and Photography.